One of the things that's so relevant is suffering. The suffering of injustice, the Four Noble Truths, the suffering that every human body that is born is subject to age, illness, and disability. Some of you are living today with disabilities, and you know more than I could speak about. And it is a gift to be able to receive these teachings on, through the airwaves, because some of you cannot come or cannot easily come to the center. Another quote that I want to say, this is from Sister Dang Nguyen. Although it was already late at night, I sat on my bed box in the dark and I massaged my hands. One hand tended the other, and then in turn was tended to. Thank you, hands, for being here to help me embrace someone, to write words of trust and empathy, to lift a pot of rice, and to make a gesture. And I think that we want to understand that even in these times, when we don't know what is coming next, we don't know how long this virus will happen. We don't know what will happen in terms of climate change. In these times of uncertainty, we can still either tend our body or be tended to. We can stroke our hands. And I want to invite you, if it is possible and accessible, to place your very own hands on your cheeks and just stroke them. Just lovingly touch this body. If it's not possible for you to touch the body, imagine that you are touching your body as if your body were your best beloved. Whether your body is offering you difficulty or pain, it is still the fount of your awareness. So just imagine your cheeks being stroked as if you were your own beloved child. And if we can touch our cheeks or our hands, let's just feel a moment of gratitude. If the best we can do in this moment is feel awareness of our skin, even if we cannot touch it, let's take a breath and breathe in gratitude for being able to touch or stroke or have a skin that our body is in. Just to be aware that we can tend to our children, that we can tend to our elders. If we cannot in this moment tend to our elders because they are perhaps in quarantine, just be aware of what we can do. Think of something that you can do, that you can touch, that you can feel water on your hands, that you can roll your wheelchair, that perhaps you can turn, that your attendant is still coming to tend to you. Find something that you are still able to do that gives you joy. And just feel gratitude for a moment. In this moment, you can touch, you can feel. Perhaps you can sing, you can cook, you can love your child. And even if you cannot tend to someone you love, you can send them metta. So I want to read something from our beloved Spring Washam, who is one of the founders of our center. She says about metta. Metta is the medicine that transforms anger, sorrow, and numbness. She says to begin, sit down in a quiet place. Put your hand on your heart and focus on self-care, compassion, and kindness. I want to invite you in this moment to think of someone you love, someone who may not in this moment be close to you, but for whom you are concerned. It may be someone on the other coast. I have a beloved, beloved goddaughter in New York City. I haven't spoken to her, even on the phone yet. But let's think for a moment of someone that we love who isn't close to us. And let's think of the metta prayer. May you be safe. Think of this person's name. May you be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May you be strong and healthy. And if that's not possible, may you be as strong and healthy and as full of grace as is allowed by your body. May you take care of yourself with ease and joy. And may you be happy, truly, truly happy. And just let this person that you're thinking about come into the space of our heart. You know, we have some scientific experiments that say that the prayers we make for those we love do have an effect. We are in perilous and uncertain times, but what we always have is our ability to love and to channel loving awareness. So at the end of our practice, our silent practice, I ask you to send love and compassion to the self. I now ask that you send love and compassion, metta, loving kindness to someone that you care about, who you are not in contact with. I also want to say that while we are living in perilous times, as a species, as a conscious species, we have always had perilous times. We have lived at the mercy of the elements. Monsoon rains, drought, famine, all these things bring suffering to the people. All our people have trekked. We have fled wars, not only the elements, but the consequences of injustice. When King Ashoka, who was a Buddhist and was the ruler of India, he united India, but he did so at the cost of many, many wars. And it's said that at one point, he looked around the battlefield and he realized how much suffering war had caused. And he had led warriors into battle. He had taken part in the destruction of fields that fed people. He had ended the lives of many, many, many. And when there are wars, it is not only the warriors who suffer, it is the innocents who die of famine, who die of pillaging, who die in all the horrible ways that suffering is caused. We know this. We know in this world the suffering of women and children in wars. We know the suffering because of climate change the rising waters. We know the suffering that is coming because of this crisis of a virus. And we know that even in the midst of suffering, we can offer love. We can reach out a helping hand. We can care for those who are suffering. Every day, the feeds are full of suffering, but they're also full of stories of people reaching out, of those who are helping us, of those who are perhaps helping someone who needs to have groceries brought to them, of those who are dropping a package off on the doorstep of an elder. An elder friend of mine makes a poultice. I can't even remember what all that's in it. She was going to bring it to me, but her son dropped it off on my doorstep. And one of the ways that in many cultures we deal with the alleviation of suffering is we offer to others. So I want to ask you now, King Ashoka renounced war, and the first outer wave of Buddhism out of India was that he sent Buddhist missionaries along the Silk Route to teach the ways of peace, to teach the Four Noble Truths, that there is suffering, there is a cause of suffering, there is a way to end suffering, and the Eightfold Path that is the way. So I want to ask you to think in this moment, how can you be an emissary of loving kindness? How can you offer love to those around you? And first, we say that metta is always offered to the self. So first, instead of fear, instead of drowning in the anxiety, what if, what might happen, how will I get food, if this continues, how will I get water? Let's again place our hand on our heart and feel the inexhaustible wellspring of love that is in you. This love has been bequeathed to you by your ancestors. It has been bequeathed to you by spirit, as you know and name it. So just feel. The hands can be on the heart if that is possible. The loving awareness can be in the heart. But just feel for a moment. Whether that feeling is with the heart and the hands, whether that feeling is just arising. But feel your heart as an endless wellspring of love, of loving kindness. All of us will die. All of our bodies are subject to old age, illness, disease, and death. But in this moment, let us come to the awareness of the wellspring of loving kindness, of the wellspring of wisdom and compassion that are always with us. And let us agree to dwell in wisdom, in compassion, and in loving kindness, whether we are well or whether we are ill. And first, let that wellspring of loving kindness fill our bodies. Let it fill our hearts and lungs. Let it come to our throats. Let it be present in the body, in every cell of the body. Let loving kindness, breathe in loving kindness and breathe out loving kindness. Breathe in love and breathe out fear. Breathe in loving kindness. Breathe out loving kindness. breathe in love, and breathe out fear. And we start with the body. And now, let's think who is in our immediate environment that we can offer loving kindness to. Can we offer food with loving kindness to those around us? Can we be, in spite of the annoyance that sometimes arises as parents, we didn't know that we were going to be with our children 24 hours. And it's never easy all the time. But can we make a pledge that tonight we'll breathe in loving kindness and we'll tell that bedtime story with a little more kindness in our hearts, knowing that our children need that now. For those of us who might be partnered or living in a communal household, fear can make us snap and uneasy. Can we breathe in loving kindness? Breathe out loving kindness. Can we take a moment? Can we pledge to take a moment? And instead of letting fear power a snap at our partner or at our roommate or housemate, instead of the fear that when somebody knocks on the door, they might be bringing the virus to us, can we just breathe in loving kindness? Breathe out fear. Breathe in love. Breathe out fear. And commit that we will offer to those around us a little more kindness, a loving word, a loving gesture, a loving touch. If we have animal companions, can we agree to make a little more space for their needs? Be a little more loving. They don't know there's a virus. They are just as loving to us as they ever were. Can we tend our plants? Even in the midst of our fear, can we breathe out some of that fear and tend to the life that is around us? And if we are alone, and so many of us are alone, and we feel there's this anxiety, can we commit to be more mindful about how we are tending our precious selves? You know, all of us know that we should be eating, good food, but can we be mindful if we have devices, if we have books, so that what's coming into our precious body, mind, psyche, heart is of the highest level, the highest good? And because meditation is not the answer for everything, if we need to, can we commit to shake? Shaking relieves anxieties. Dancing relieves anxieties. Moving relieves anxieties. Can we commit to practices that help us heal, that help us be of good mind? Everyone here, take a moment. Feel the energy of the ground. Feel the energy of the earth. And let's draw in. You can reach toward the ground. You can take your hands and draw in the energy of the earth, the strong green energy of the earth that is around us. Breathe that energy in and let it come into the body. Let it wash away all difficulties, all disease, all that is problematic. Let it come into the feet, the strong green transformative energy of the earth, that compost, that is strong enough to drive the green light through the concrete. Let us draw in some of that energy. Let it come through the feet. Let it come into the shin bones, wash around the calves. Let it wrap around the knees. Let this strong green energy of the earth drive away our fears and anxieties. Let it come up and up into the thighs. Let it fill the pelvis. Let it wash away anything in the abdomen that is not in righteous, healthy relation to us. Let the strong green energy of the earth, let the chi of what is below fill our bodies. Let it come up and wrap around our tailbone and spine. Let it fill the torso. Let it radiate through the arms. Let the strong green energy of the earth rise. Let it wash away any blocks in the throat. Let it fill the lungs with healthy energy. Let the strong green chi of the earth arise. Let it fountain through the mouth. Let it fill the skull bones. Let it fountain out of the body, bringing us into alignment with what is whole and what is healthy. Everyone, take a moment to think about what your body needs to be healthy. And so tonight, as Sangha, in these uncertain times, know that just as we walk with death, with disease, with illness and old age, we also walk with loving kindness, with compassion, with wisdom, with all the wisdom teachings. And let's make a commitment. Let's find the physical practice that holds our body. Let's offer the loving kindness that has always sustained our people. Let's take in the wisdom teachings that support the mind and the practices that relieve anxiety. Because sometimes we do need a little more than meditation. Let's commit to holding a web of loving kindness, tenderness, and compassion. Here at East Bay, we are offering virtual sits, the Alphabet Sangha, the Midday Sangha, the Maha Sangha. There are other online platforms that are available to you. And there is the service that you can do to the communities around you. I want to say thank you so much for your practice. Thank you so much for all that you are doing. We are all social justice activists. We are all healers. We are all those who are the receivers of healing. May our lives be whole. May we be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. May we be strong and healthy in mind and body. May we take care of ourselves with ease and joy. And may we be happy, truly, truly happy, in the moment-to-moment awareness of what arises and what falls away.